Hello, I'm Wayne Poling, Sunday School Specialist at Lifeway Christian Resources, and during this video we want to talk about one of the most important things that you'll do as Sunday School Director, and that's discovering and enlisting leaders. You know, one of the exciting joys as a Sunday School Director is seeing people discover service and seeing them blossom. Can you imagine looking back after years of service as Sunday School Director and seeing throughout your church people who have discovered the joy of service and discovered the joy of leadership? We're going to talk about 10 things that you can do to help that come about in your Sunday school. One of those first things that you can do is to help your church catch the vision of raising up leaders. You know, that vision will include your church discovering the joy and the importance of raising up leaders out of groups in your church, to give a priority to not just holding on to members, but sending members out to service. Pray for God to raise up leaders. Now, I encourage you as step number 2, or as one of the actions that you'll take, is to be praying that God will lay on your heart the desire to see leaders come out of classes. Both you pray for this and encourage your classes to be praying for raising up leaders. The third action that you can take is to be continually on the lookout for new leaders. You know, as Sunday School Director, it's easy to get busy doing the work of the Sunday School and all of those things that call for your attention. But the most important action that you can be taking is to be working to discover new leaders and to help classes raise up new leaders. So be continually looking for new leaders. Build a spirit of leadership discovery in your Sunday school. That means that your Sunday school starts to build a spirit of saying, hey, this is something to celebrate. When we discover and find new leaders. As Sunday School Director, you can help that spirit of discovery come about. The next thing that you can do is to use as many sources as possible to discover leaders. Look in many directions to discover leaders. For instance, you may want to ask your adult teachers to recommend people as leaders, to encourage them to begin using people in their class to serve and to find places of service, and then to raise up leaders and to recommend them to you. You'll also want to look through every adult class role and ask these 2 questions. Do they have the potential to serve effectively if they've been trained? And also, would this person be acceptable to our church? As you look through the names on those adult class roles, asking those 2 questions, if you can answer yes to both of those questions, then those individuals have the potential to be a new leader with some training. You'll want to look at lists like Vacation Bible School workers. You'll want to think about people that have returned from college. You'll look at interest surveys, and you'll also look at who's been a part of training or potential leader training in your church. But you'll want to consider as many lists and possibilities as you can to try to discover new leaders. As you think about discovering and enlisting leaders, you'll want to determine the leadership needs of your Sunday school. As you're getting ready to enlist, you need to know what you need to have to be able to fully staff your Sunday school. This doesn't mean just vacancies. It means if your Sunday school is fully staffed, how many leaders do you need? What leadership do you need for each of the groups in your Sunday school? Then also, if you're going to start the new groups that you're going to need during the coming year, what leaders do you need to staff those groups as well? So as you're developing a list of the leaders needed, fill out that list to fully staff your Sunday school. After having determined your leadership needs, you'll want to decide on one person for each position. Prayerfully ask God to lead you to the person to whom you're going to go, and then effectively enlist that person. Make an appointment with each prospective leader. You'll want to make that appointment to sit down with them in their home or at another location, but to have a time where you have their full attention and the importance of what you're asking them can be registered. So you won't want to catch them in the hallway, you won't want to just call them, but you want to make an appointment with each person. Because what can be more important than the enlisting of a leader and seeing them begin that joyful journey of service and to see that journey begin effectively? The next step that you'll want to consider is who will do the enlisting. A person should be enlisted by the person to whom they are responsible. Now, in many of our churches, that person that's doing the enlisting is often the nominating committee. While that process may be the process your church has decided and you need to follow whatever your church's decision is, I encourage you to consider the value of having a person be enlisted by the person to whom they're responsible. That means the person they're serving with will have the opportunity to share with them about the work of that group and to share their heart and to fully explain the expectations of that new leader. Which brings us to the next step, and that would be to train the enlisters. You know, where enlisting breaks down so often is that we don't train those that are going to be doing the enlisting. And we hope that they'll do a good job. We hope that they'll enlist effectively, but we fail to train them. So I encourage you to specifically train the enlisters. Now in this series, we're going to have a video on what you do in that enlistment visit. And it might be that the video that you're going to view would be a video that you could use to train those enlisters. The last step is to make the enlistment visit. Give it a priority. Have a significant time where you can sit down together and discuss that role. One of the greatest joys you have as Sunday school director is that of raising up new leaders and leaving a legacy. So I encourage you as Sunday school director to give priority to enlisting leaders. There's nothing you'll do that's more important. Everything else rests on that.